start tonight. Well, hey, good evening and welcome to Leadership Akron's 2025 annual meeting and Reed Family Difference Maker Award reception. Tonight we gather not only to celebrate leadership, but to honor the spirit of Leadership Akron itself. And it seems fitting that we gather here at 1840 Manor House, a historic space that has been transformed to serve with a new purpose, one of elegance, intention, and character. In many ways, it mirrors Leadership Akron's own journey, honoring our legacy while continuously renewing our vision to meet the needs of today's and tomorrow's challenges. This evening is about gratitude, reflection, and momentum. It's about recognizing the individuals and organizations who breathe life into our community. It's about all of you, our alumni, our class officers, our class members, board members, community partners, and friends who bring our mission to life through your actions, your decisions, and your service to this community. Your commitment to lead with courage, empathy, and purpose is what moves our community forward. We've renewed our commitment to bold leadership, deeper community connection, and a thriving Greater Akron. And none of that would be possible without you. You are the ones making a difference in boardrooms, classrooms, nonprofit neighborhoods, companies, and causes. You are literally the heartbeat of Leadership Akron. So on behalf of our entire team and our board, I would like to say thank you. I would like to give a special mention of gratitude to Roger Reed and Dave Lieberth, and posthumously Phil Maynard. They are three of our life trustees of Leadership Akron's board, and I want to thank them for helping lay the foundation to allow us to all be here tonight. We would also like to begin, We'd also like to start by thanking our incredible sponsors for tonight's event, in which without them, this could not be possible. Our strengthening sponsors are Tony Alexander, Mary Beth Carroll, and Dr. Keith Wilson, the H. Peter Berg Fund at Akron Community Foundation. Our inspiring sponsors are Cleveland Clinic Akron General, thank you, Toby and Tony Durant, 42 Event Productions, and State and Federal Communications. They sponsor everything, right? Our visionary sponsors are Mark and Sandy Auburn. Unfortunately, Mark is not here. Sandy was here earlier, but she had to leave. Joel and Jan Bailey, Clearstead, and Siebert Keck Insurance Partners. And our supporting sponsor is Metis Construction Services. Please join me in thanking all of our individuals and organizations. We would also like to extend a special thanks to 1840 Manor House for hosting us in this beautiful space tonight. It is the fruition of a vision of the creators and owners, Steve and Jen Boyd, who I believe are here somewhere in the room tonight. So hopefully you get a chance to meet them. And again, a special thanks to Starlin Stroud. Thank you for managing this amazing campus and for being a pleasure to work with. Thank you so much. We also want to thank LaShawne's Catering Services for the wonderful food that hopefully you have all enjoyed. We have used them 3 times and they have never disappointed, so thank you so much to LaShawne's Catering. Thank you also to 42 Event Productions for providing audio-visual and media services and for sponsoring tonight's program. And thank you to McCoy Multimedia for capturing this event's moments through photo and video. Appreciate it. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce to you the chair of our Leadership Akron Board of Directors, Danielle Kimmel. Danielle.
Well, welcome, and I always appreciate Leadership Akron because they introduce me to new people and new venues all the time. And this is a fantastic new venue for me, so thank you for that. On behalf of the Board of Directors, welcome to the Leadership Akron annual meeting. I am Danielle Kimmel, partner at Eide Bailly, and chair of the Leadership Akron Board, and most importantly, graduate of Signature Class 25. We have had a wonderful and successful year 41 of inspiring, strengthening, and empowering our leaders. And we're going to be sharing some of those details with you and those successes tonight through the presentation. We look forward to continuing to unlock the potential of our leaders in our greater community in year 42 and beyond. And part of that success is connected to our dedicated volunteers. So I have the honor of taking a moment to acknowledge some of our volunteers, and I'm going to start with some board volunteers. First, I'd like to take a moment to express my deep gratitude to our outgoing board members. So if you are present, I'm going to ask that you please stand as I call your name. Yamini Atkins, Zinga Hart, who was TV's immediate past president, and they have a seat on our board. Brian Hart, John Judge, and Amanda Leffler. Thank you for your support. Each individual I just indicated had great dedication to Leadership Akron. Their time, talent, and treasures that they provided us and supported us with was greatly appreciated. But I do have two special shout outs for that group. John Judge, and I saw you stand, so I know you're here. I was super impressed that you spearheaded a match campaign, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate you collaborating with Steve Wilt on that. You've inspired me and the organization to think outside the box. And I also appreciate that you've agreed to continue to be involved beyond your board service and other volunteer capacities, so thank you for that. And I didn't see if Amanda stood or not, but she served as previous board chair. She was deeply involved and at the heart of ensuring that our CEO leadership transition occurred and was successful. And she's been an excellent sounding board for me as I transitioned to this role. So I very much appreciated her service and her guidance through this process. We also have some incoming board members, and I'd like to introduce them to you. So as I call your name, please stand. And we have a wonderful slide so you can see their faces if they didn't make it today. Judge David Hamilton, Jessica Korletsky, Rick Krachka, King Lewis, and Sierra Oden, who is our court carrier representative. We also, just so you're aware of who the executive committee is on the board, that would be me, board chair. We also have John Garofalo, the new president and CEO at Akron Community Foundation. Lisa Hilling is our treasurer, and she also has a new role as Senior Vice President of Finance with Catholic Charities. So congratulations, Lisa, on your new role. And our secretary, Kent Boyd, who is the executive director of Love of Akron, and it will be this year's Maynard Distinguished Alumni Award winner for 2025 as well. You all have raised the bar for me. You're so very active in all these new roles. So the board's very important, but we have staff as well. We have 5 staff. And then we do a lot. When you hear about what's been going on with the organization, it absolutely takes a village. Our 5 staff can't do everything on their own and to do what we do. So I would like to recognize some other volunteers. I know I mentioned a lot of the board members, but if you are also a board member that I did not list, could you please stand so that you can be seen and recognized? I know there's some of you in the room. You may be standing in the back already. All right. And then I'm going to ask you to stay standing. We're going to have a bit of a contest here. Okay, can we get everybody standing? If you are a member on our committees, whether that's a board committee, an event committee, a program committee, could you please stand? Thank you for your service. If you volunteer in an event, for us, could you please stand? If you volunteered for a program day as a speaker, providing services, donating something, breakfast, lunch, dinner, if you could please stand. Oh, you guys are getting tired. We're all going to be standing. Keep standing. If you've donated to the organization, please stand. We should have a lot more people standing up for that one. If you have supported us through word of mouth or encouraging others or telling them about Leadership Akron, please stand. And if you are here because somebody told you something awesome about Leadership Akron, that's why you're in the room, please stand. Thank you, everyone. It does take this many people to make things happen here, and we couldn't do this, and we couldn't be inspiring, strengthening, and empowering leaders without you all. Whether you're giving or getting, it's all one big circle of life here, so thank you. And then I also have the honor of talking a little bit about our strategic planning priorities and processes. Last year, we focused on positioning ourselves and making sure that we were sustaining our work, but also growing and reaching across Greater Akron. So we're accomplishing this through our strategic plan and the lovely slide deck, by the way, you guys are so good. So it's focused on these areas, one of which is our experiences, and that's a big reason why we do what we do. And we want to make sure that we've defined those and that we're strengthening the core of our offerings. The board is also very focused on our financial sustainability. It's very important to any organization. And we're developing and updating our financial model to make sure that it is responsive to the current and the future landscape and the organization's needs. Brand identity was also a big focus for us. We're establishing core organizational identity. We had an excellent group come in and help us define that and understand it better. And now we're working on layering that into all that we do and how we communicate. We're also focusing on our network. This is a big reason why a lot of us are here and have been involved. And we want to make sure there's a systematic approach to how we feed and care for that network, both inside the organization and outside. Partnerships and collaborative considerations are also a key focus for the organization. We want to make sure that we're ensuring we are in tune with our environment and as appropriate that we're partnering and collaborating with the people around us. And last but certainly not least is diversity, equity, inclusion. And this was more of a recent strengthening as well of our strategic plan, but we did officially ratify our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And within that plan, we're working on ensuring that it continues to be at the heart of how we achieve our mission. So why does this mission of inspiring, strengthening, and empowering leaders matter, and why does it matter now? We're in a time when our community is craving connection and it's craving leadership. And they want that leadership to be rooted in a purpose. And so the mission of Leadership Akron is more vital than ever to make sure that that's possible. To show how we're making that possible, we're going to take a few moments here now to look back on the last year of programming, and we are going to have Henry Johnson, Vice President of Programs and Operations and Leadership, come up and tell you about how we're doing that.
Good evening. My name is Henry Johnson Jr., Vice President of Programs and Operations and a proud graduate of Diversity on Board Class 6. Yes. In my role, I manage all the programming that comes out of Leadership Akron. But for me, it's more than program management, it's hard work. I come from a background in retail leadership where I learned early on that serving people well is what creates real impact. That same spirit guides me today. The most meaningful moments in my work are when someone feels they can reach out, not just to a leader, but to a friend, and they'll know I'll be there. I believe servant leadership is about lifting others up, creating space for their voices, and building a community where everyone feels seen and valued. That's the work I'm grateful to be a part of every day. This year, Leadership Akron proudly delivered 10 programs spanning 62 program days, engaging 269 participants. Our programmatic leadership continuum spans 55 years, from our youngest in our JLA program in middle school to our wisest in our next program, with nearly 275 community partners making this happen, contributing their time, talent, expertise, and insight to help us bring these experiences to life. Here's a snapshot of how we inspired, strengthened, and empowered leaders across Greater Akron. We partner with Emmanuel Christian Academy to provide 2 program days, one for 14 teachers and one for 38 students, to foster early exposure, leadership, and civic understanding. Junior Leadership Akron, 40 high school juniors from across Summit County completed Junior Leadership Akron Class 38, modeled after our signature program, gaining early community awareness and leadership skills through a 9-month experiential journey. Next, 14 individuals completed our Next 13 program. Next, which stands for New Endeavors for Experienced Talent, is a 2-month journey to help seasoned professionals define their next chapter of community impact. Inside Akron, in October, 35 participants took part in Inside Akron, an intensive 1-day introduction to Akron's greatest resources and leaders. Inside Akron is designed for leaders who are new to the area, returning to the area, or for those looking to reacquaint themselves with the evolution of our community. Community Leadership Institute. 14 individuals completed our Community Leadership Institute, also known as CLI, a 2-month immersion into Akron's assets and decision makers. We also led custom CLI experiences for Bridgestone, Goodyear, Tony Durant Cleveland Clinic. These custom CLIs focus on connecting organizational goals with community needs. Diversity on Board. 17 participants completed our 10-month Diversity on Board Class 9 journey, our exclusive program for Black and Brown leaders that dives into the key pillars of intentional board leadership. It also includes board matching service and placement to advance racial, ethnic, minority representation on nonprofit and public boards in our community. 96% of our graduates from classes 1 through 8 are now serving on nonprofit and public boards. Signature. In June, 42 leaders graduated from Signature Class 41. For anyone still unfamiliar with our flagship program, our Signature program is an opportunity for leaders to see beyond their own sphere into the broader interest of our community. We connect them to our community's top assets and resources and put them in front of the leaders of these organizations for a broader working knowledge of Greater Akron. In short, we open minds and doors. If you have graduated from any of our 2024 or 2025 programs, please stand to be recognized. As you can tell, Leadership Akron's programs continue to meet people where they are in their leadership journey, whether they're just beginning or reimagining their next step. Thank you for the mark you've already made. While your time in the program may be finished, your presence and impact in Leadership Akron's family is still deeply felt. Staying connected as an alumni can look different in a lot of ways. Serving on a planning committee, sponsoring a program day, or even creating your own meaningful ways to engage. However you choose to show up, there's space for you here. We're grateful for all the ways you continue to pour into not only Leadership Akron, but the greater Akron community. This doesn't have to be the end of the chapter. It can be a part of your ongoing story you're writing in a way that's true to you. And whatever that looks like, know that we value the heart that you bring to it. And now let's welcome Justin back to the podium.
Thank you, Henry. Appreciate that program impact update. As we reflect on fiscal year 2025, the numbers really tell the story. It tells a story of continued momentum, expanded reach, and deep community impact. Our signature events continue to serve as anchors for connection and celebration, with over 1,000 attendees joining us across our annual meeting and Reed Family Difference Maker Award reception, our Lebrecht Community Vision Award breakfast, our holiday party and Maynard Distinguished Leader Award celebration, and our new Executive Leader reception. We also held 11 Leadership on Main events monthly, bringing together over 750 attendees for accessible, personal, timely stories and conversations on leadership, equity, and community issues. Behind each number is a story, a relationship, and a leader taking action to move Greater Akron forward. Together, we're building a network that is not only growing in size, but deepening in impact. In February, we welcomed and recognized more than 50 professionals who stepped into senior executive roles across Greater Akron in 2024. These leaders, representing a diverse range of industries and organizations, are now positioned to shape strategy, culture, and impact at the highest of levels. The reception served as both a celebration of new leadership and a call to engage deeply with our community's future. If you know anyone who has stepped into a senior executive role thus far in 2025, we certainly invite you to nominate them for recognition at our annual event held in February of 2026. This celebration honors individuals who have assumed significant leadership responsibilities in a professional capacity. Nominations are open to all and can be submitted through the form on our website or through the QR code that hopefully you scanned for today's program. Now I'd like to offer a staffing update. I'd like to shine the light on the remarkable team behind everything you've heard tonight. Leadership Akron is powered by 5 full-time staff members. That's right, every program, every event, every connection we've made this year has been led by this small but mighty, mighty team. Special thanks to Amy Ritter, a Leadership Akron CLI graduate. She's been with us for 4 years and continues to be the absolute backbone to our organization, supporting absolutely everything we do, including operations, programs, and board and events. We actually have a nickname that we call Amy, which is basically all things Amy. So, and she certainly has lived up to that. You've already met Henry Johnson Jr., a DOB grad. He's now in his 3rd year and was recently promoted to Vice President of Programs and Operations. He leads our program experiences with heart clarity and community insight, and now plays a key operational role in terms of contributing to development, communications, and human resources, as well as DE&I efforts within our organization. Elizabeth Saraceno, who is a Women's Network CLI grad, she's been with us for 18 months and has been instrumental in curating our foundation's individual and corporate supporters. Stephanie Smith, another CLI grad, who just celebrated her 1-year anniversary with us, is re-energizing our alumni engagement with creativity and vision. And then there's me, a signature class 27 grad, the best class ever. You know? I joined this organization 3 years ago, and it's been literally the honor of a lifetime to serve in this role. So thank you so much to the staff. We're also incredibly grateful to have had Claudia Diaz-Singer serve as our program coordinator and facilitator for our external corporate CLI programs, and Sherry Newbert, another signature class 27 grad, best class ever. She's serving as this year's facilitator and coach of our next program. I'd also like to thank Chuck Abraham, a signature class 21 grad, a retired managing partner and CFO at Hitchcock Fleming Associates, and currently the president of Chuck Abraham Consulting, for his gracious and generous assistance managing our bookkeeping, accounting, finances, and HR. Chad Crawford and Danae Babaki are co-founders of an organization called IMIX. They're a marketing firm that provides expertise in marketing communications and advertising services as well. Even more impressive is that our core team is relatively a new team, yet together with the support of 13 active board committees, we're carrying forward a 41-year legacy while building fresh momentum for the future. It's a true team effort, and I couldn't be prouder to work alongside of these very, very passionate and mission-driven leaders. Can we give them all To give you an update financially, Leadership Akron runs an annual budget of a little over $1 million annually. Program tuition and event revenues comprise 42%, leaving 58% of that $1.1 million to be raised each year. That equates to close to about $650,000 that we have to raise annually. Super special thanks to our generous foundations, corporations, and individuals, very much like you, who collectively fill that gap each year. And in consideration of our current national and local climates and trends, now more than ever, we need your continued support and contributions. Last year, we announced the renaming of our Distinguished Leader Award to the Maynard Distinguished Leader Award in honor of the late Phil Maynard, a cherished life trustee. Phil's legacy exemplified servant leadership, generosity, and an unwavering commitment to transforming lives across our community. With this change, each of our 3 signature events now proudly features an award named after one of our 3 life trustees. 3 visionary leaders whose influence have shaped Leadership Akron into what it is today. And last year, we celebrated the impact of those 3 remarkable leaders with our Leadership Akron Life Trustee Awards Trinity. The Reed Family Difference Maker Award was presented to Mark and Sandy Auburn for their steadfast commitment to expanding Leadership Akron's reach and strengthening our community. Last year, the Lebreath Community Vision Award was presented to Sylvia Trundle for her visionary leadership and dedication to public service. And last year, the Maynard Distinguished Leader Award was presented posthumously to Phil Maynard, whose life embodied servant leadership and transformative impact. So these 3 awards reflect the enduring legacy of Roger, Dave, and Phil, and the values they championed in our community. Together, these 3 honors form the Leadership Akron Life Trustee Awards Trinity, a living tribute to the heart, vision, and service that have guided this organization for more than 40 years. We are deeply grateful to the Reed, Lebreath, and Maynard families for the legacy they entrusted to us and for the example they've set for generations of leaders to come. Now I would like to speak more about the Reed Family Difference Maker Board. Please help me welcome the Vice Chair of our Leadership Akron Board of Directors, last week's powerful Leadership on Main speaker, the new President and CEO of our Akron Community Foundation, and, most importantly, mi piace italiano fratello, John Garofalo.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for being here tonight. And a special shout out to my Class 30 classmates who are here with us tonight. I know, Tia, you're here. Where are you, Tia? You're so quiet. It's not usually the case. It is a pleasure to be here with you this evening. The Reed Family Difference Maker Award was created in July of 2017 to honor the Reed family in recognition of their involvement in advancing the mission and work of Leadership Akron, promoting community leadership and strengthening the Akron community's well-being. Each year, this award recognizes an individual or a group of individuals whose efforts have been instrumental in expanding the scope of impact of Leadership Akron's mission and work. The Reed Family Difference Maker Award was created not only to form a recognition, but as an opportunity to create something meaningful for others. The resulting concept was the installation of ginkgo trees provided by the City of Akron at Cascade Locks Park that would add to the environment and scenic quality of that area to benefit all of us. At the site stands a sculpture crafted by Michael Maris to honor the Reed family and the award recipients. The sculpture, which reads, "Together we grow," conveys the growth and connectivity that benefits the Akron community. Each year, a new tree is planted at the site in honor of the recipients. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the Reed family who are here with us tonight. Roger, Sally, Scott, whose vision, generosity, and leadership inspired this award and continue to shape Leadership Akron's story. We are grateful for the countless ways that you've invested in our mission in this community. Please join me in thanking Scott Stroud. We are also grateful to the partners who helped with this creation of the site. Of course, Cascade Locks Park Association, the City of Akron, the Environmental Design Group and Jeffrey Kerr, Ohio and Erie Canalway Coalition, and Summit Metro Parks. And now it is my pleasure to introduce my friend Sue Hobson, Director of Community Relations for the Cleveland Clinic Akron General, to say a few words about this year's recipients and honorees.
Think of two better people to recognize with the Reed Family Difference Maker Award than Toby and Tony Grant. I knew Tony first. We worked together on the Ohio School AED program. Tony was Senior Vice President of Community Affairs and Senior Advisor at Akron General. He had retired from a long career with Ohio Edison. He knew so many people and knew how communities work. He was always connecting people and encouraging involvement. He encouraged me. How lucky could I be? Wow. After Tony's passing, I got to know Toby better. We started to attend community events together, events that Tony would have attended. It wasn't easy to keep up the pace. What I soon learned was that Toby was as much as a leader as Tony. Not only was she the wind beneath his wings, but she was involved in community in her own right. Akron General Women's Board, the American Diabetes Association, Greek Orthodox Church, Garden Club, PEO, Ohio and Erie Canalway Coalition, to name just a few. She was always very supportive of me and still is today. In 2012, Akron General and Leadership Akron launched the Tony Grant Community Leadership Institute and introduced the first class. 18 classes later, the program is still going strong with Leadership Akron facilitating. Thank you very much, Leadership Akron. Couldn't do it without you. Our hospital leaders, both clinical and non-clinical, learn about the assets and the needs of our community. They go on to join community boards, volunteer with their teams and families, and have a better understanding of the social determinants of health that affect our patients. Toby attends nearly every class. She gets to know the class members, and in turn, the class members get to know her. No surprise, they love her. The video we used to kick off the Tony Grant program really tells more of the Tony and Toby story, so we're going to take a look at that. The Tony Grant Community Leadership Institute is a partnership of Leadership Akron and Cleveland Clinic Akron General to honor the memory of Tony Grant.
We were married in 1957, so when he passed it was 54 years. The secret to that 54 years was probably that he was never home. He was always out doing something, and so when he came home, it was kind of nice to see him. He worked 42 years for his Genesee, Ohio Edison at that time, and he only worked 8 days a week and 24 hours a day. And he left, retired because he had to, because of age, came to Akron General, worked 15 years there as a 2-day-a-week job, which became an 8-day-a-week job. And he just loved being out and helping people solve problems.
The Tony Grant Community Leadership Institute came to life because we wanted to really remember Tony and what he did for our organization and how could we replicate that and keep his passion and his interest in the community going, and then to educate our own leaders and just to understand the community, because the community is the patients that we serve every day.
Tony was about building relationships with people. And so it wasn't a top-down kind of strategy or leadership style. He wanted to know more about what you did. He wanted to understand what you encounter day to day. He wanted to know what drove you as a professional and why you chose the career that you chose. And so he was a relationship person.
He would always take leadership roles because he knew, because of who he was as an individual and his passion for community, that if he called, people would pick up the phone. So everyone wanted Tony to be at the table and be on their team, because if we said, hey Tony, we need to raise money for this, and we need you to have a leadership role in this and bring other people to the table, he could do that, just simply by who he was as an individual.
He was one of those people that the minute you met him, you felt like you knew him forever. And he had a way, I think, of drawing out the best in people.
Tony, to me, was just the all-around good guy who had 15,000 jobs and worked them all. I used to see his name on almost every board, every committee. So I'm like, this dude really gets around.
I think every Sunday we spent probably about 20 minutes addressing all the week's problems with the hospitals, and he was always solving the hospital's problems, his problems. He just was a problem solver.
The way Tony worked with people and with the politicians was a unique style. He was just a quiet guy that came up beside you, as many people have told me, and take their arm and say, here's somebody you need to meet. And he never really wanted to be the top guy. He just wanted to be there and help the top guy. And that's kind of what he did.
You know, all the people that you get to run into in your life, he's probably one of the top 3 or 4 that just had as much of an influence on me when it comes to style, how you treat people, and I'll always treasure that. And you know, I keep his cell phone number. And it's superstitious of me, but I like to keep people's phone numbers that, you know, that have a significant impact on me. And Tony's was one, you know, when he passed, I said, I'm not getting rid of the number, because, you know, in case he calls, I want to be able to be there.
He would be the same person if he was meeting an elected official or a young professional, somebody just getting started. I think that's what I took away. That's what I learned from him, I think. Just a way of making me feel important.
I think Tony really loved his community, and that's why he wanted to be involved. He knew he had something to offer, he knew he had something to give, and he wanted to share that with other people because he loved the community and everything that was here.
Emblazoned on an index card that we had on his desk, the 3 letters, JBN. And his attitude was, if you JBN, you could accomplish anything. And JBN simply stood for just be nice. And that's what Tony was. He was just a nice, good man. Yeah, I love him.
I have attended every class mainly because it does keep Tony's memory alive, and I want to be a part of that. And in case they forget who it's about, then I'm there to remind them.
He left a legacy. He left a legacy, and it is each of our responsibility to live that legacy beyond his time with us. I mean, we are responsible for continuing the work that he laid the foundation for.
Because of Tony and Toby Grant, our community is better. And as someone said earlier, together we grow. So let's continue to grow. And won't you please join me in welcoming Toby Grant to receive the Reed Family Difference Maker Award.
Well, one thing for sure, I talk a lot, but I am not a public speaker. And when people make you cry, it really makes you tough to talk at all. Tony was a great guy, a good husband. I don't know if great would be good. But he was never home, so that made it a lot easier. He loved each community he lived in. When we lived in Sandusky, he was Mr. Sandusky. One of the fellows said to him, Tony, how are you going to handle this? You've been a big fish in a little pond here, but you're going to Akron, you're going to be a little fish in a big pond. But he handled it. He swam around in the pond. Anyway, he was a good man, a good husband, a good father, and he just loved to work. He got sick and was going downhill pretty quick, but he didn't know it. I know he told Sue and I'm not any different, but we could see the difference. He was going downhill. But he was working up till the last minute. He was in the hospital, but he had a meeting scheduled with Sue that morning. But he didn't make the meeting. But he's in a better place, and he's up there taking care of all of us down here. I had all these words I was going to say, but when Sue started to talk, I lost them all. So I'm very, very thrilled about the Roger and his family award, and I feel unworthy for it, but Tony is worthy, so thank you. Anyway, thank you all for being here.
Well, again, congratulations, Toby. We love and appreciate you mightily, and your legacy of leadership is certainly an everlasting one. And speaking of an everlasting one, it was to be my pleasure to bring David Lieberth to the lectern, as he is who I affectionately refer to as the godfather of consequential community influence. And I believe he is the only person to have attended every single signature program graduation and annual meeting. That is until tonight. So unfortunately, we were just informed that Dave is unable to be with us tonight. And so in his stead, you get me. And my, thank you so much. And I'm going to try and do my best Dave Lieberth impersonation. I can almost hear him now, wherever he's at, saying to himself, I can't think of a better equipped person to impersonate me other than Justin. So Dave was to present the history of Leadership Akron. And if you all know Dave, can nobody do the history of Leadership Akron or Akron, period, other than Dave Lieberth. He's so unique in that way. And so he had a prepared presentation, And so I'm going to read his prepared remarks. I can either do this as Justin or as Justin being Dave. Justin being Dave? Justin? Justin? All right. We got some Daves. We'll go with a hybrid. All right. So in 1983, Akron was run by a handful of men from big corporations that had their own style of cultivating new leaders by delegating up-and-coming men to community boards and charities. And Akron was a city that over a decade had lost 30,000 well-paying jobs. Barbara Heine, director of Goals for Greater Akron and acutely aware of the leadership gap, partnered together with Paul Poorman, who was the editor of the Beacon Journal, Bob Mercer, chairman of Goodyear, and John Ong, chairman of BF Goodrich, and they all convened a group at Portage Country Club, where the beloved Edwin J. Thomas stood and signaled his approval. Now, this is my Dave impersonation. I was 36 years old when Poorman asked me to join a steering committee to plan this new program to be called Leadership Akron. Today, I remain the only living survivor of that group of founders. They're all dead. That's what's in his notes. And though we began with promise and hope stemming from our first signature program class, we were not quite certain that there would be enough leaders for a second class. Well, over 41 years later, some 2,000 members of the Greater Akron community have participated in our programming portfolio, which Henry has shared, and now includes 10 programs a year. Today, we can't really imagine Akron without 2,000 graduates. Leadership Akron is elite, not because so few are selected, but so few people choose to be selected. To all of you who have chosen to be the selected chosen ones, I say to you, congratulations. And to those who I'm about to introduce tonight, I will tell you that you are joining the finest community leadership program in the United States. I've said that dozens of times, and no one has ever proved me wrong. Good luck to you all. Dave. And now I'd like to call Henry back up to introduce you to the members of the 2025-2026 program year. I think he's going to do a Dave impersonation. No.
No Dave here. All right. I'd like to ask each person as they come to the front of the stage, cross in front of me and head back up the side aisle. First, we will start with next class 14. Jennifer Black. Tom Craig was unable to be with us. Kathy Dubose. Timothy Eaton. Linda Earhart. Alan Fortnoff. Tom Griffin was unable to be with us. Carrie Honey was unable to be with us. Robert Hassenjager. Drina Mesa Whitfield. Becky Michael. Nancy O'Connor. Annette Prince. Dennis Roberts. Denise Sawan Caruso was unable to be with us. Mary Verstrate. And Valeria Woodall. Please join me in welcoming the new class of Next 14. I'm pleased to introduce the members of Leadership Akron's Diversity on Board, Class 10. Dana Baylor. Keisha Bedell was unable to be present. Brittany Bell. Jason Betts. Jasmine Britton. Jasmine Bowman. Rajon Butler. Hope Evans Oliver. Tanya Gully. Ashley Hamilton. Candace Hilton. Kimberly Humphrey. Monique Johnson. Elaine Jones. Janetta Knox. Tiffany London. Leslie Rashid. Devin Ray was unable to be with us this evening. Calvin Robinson. Orlando Romine. Ryan Stiles. Jessica Travis. Join me in welcoming the new class of Diversity on Board, Class 10. It's my pleasure now to welcome Signature Class 42. Michelle Alleman. Anna Ball. Michael Bodner had to leave. Carla Bradford. Andrew Brooks was unable to be with us this evening. Sarah Busagrassi. Dominic Cardarelli. Andrew Costigan was unable to be with us. Gary Eastwood. Melissa Manning. Raven Gayhart. Thomas Hyde. Roy Jacobs. Aaron Johnson. Joseph Cation. Elizabeth Carbo. Rebecca Kazar. Holly Klein. Sandra Kerr. Brian Lapola. Amy Lee. Joshua Lehman. Nathan Knuckle was unable to be with us this evening. Emily Lungard. Stephanie Marsh. Nick McCauley. Kimberly Meals. Timothy Myers. Augustino Macosi. Dana Mountjoy. Meredith Myers. Tabby Nagaki. Scott Pastru. Jill Reynolds. Jonathan Sanchez. Amani Scruggs. Lucas Smith. Justin Snipes. Aaron Spring. Danielle Thompson. Tamara Todd. Evelyn Williams. Shonda Lynn Yeager. Lauren Zanonis. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcome the new class of Signature Class 42. Now I have the pleasure to welcome Leadership Akron's Engagement and Impact Director, Stephanie Smith.
Wow, it's kind of hard to follow. Thank you, Henry. I'd like to personally congratulate Toby on this recognition. I had the pleasure of getting to know Toby a little bit better this year, and it's pretty easy to see why she and Tony are so deserving of this award. It's pretty hard not to fall in love with her when you meet her. So if you haven't had a chance to meet or talk with Toby, I highly encourage you to come up and say hello, and I'm pretty sure you will fall in love with her too. friends with almost everybody in this room, and I'm incredibly proud to be standing in front of you today. But I would like to say a really big thank you to the volunteers that are here tonight who answered my call in the middle of the night at all hours of the day when I said, "Can you please help?" You probably noticed these faces greeting you tonight at registration, helping to usher you around the room, and overall helping to make this event the success that it is. These volunteers represent our alumni committee, our class officers, program participants, community partners, and friends. If you would please stand or wave and be recognized, thank you to the volunteers tonight. I couldn't have done this without you. As Justin mentioned, I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary with Leadership Akron, and over this past year, I've been focused on helping to reinvigorate and strengthen the connections within our Leadership Akron family. We launched our first ever alumni engagement plan. Stemming from our strategic framework, this plan focuses on 3 core areas: engaging our alumni, fostering deeper connections with our classes, and attracting new audiences. A few of these highlights, which I'm sure many of you are already familiar with, include our alumni recognition. We've shared your stories, celebrated your success, and reminded each other that being part of Leadership Akron isn't just about a program year, it's about a lifetime of leadership and impact. And a quick note that our alumni recognition is all about celebrating you, your milestones, your leadership, and the difference you continue to make every day. Whether it's a new job, a promotion, an award, or the way you've contributed to meaningful change in our community, we want to celebrate those moments with you. So we have a Share Your Success option on our website that if you have awesome news to share, please let us know, because your success is a part of our story too. We've also re-energized our class officer network to give them the tools, resources, and the connections to help bring their classes together and ensure that the bonds formed under the Leadership Akron umbrella remain strong. Our efforts to welcome new leaders in our community, from welcome correspondences to our annual reception, help us connect with emerging and established leaders, building our pipeline for future programs and connections. And I'm excited to announce we will be launching the official Leadership Akron swag store. These branded items will allow you to carry your Leadership Akron journey proudly wherever you go. Details on the launch of the store will be announced, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, we wanted to have something special for our alumni today. Leadership Akron program pins. So these lapel pins feature our Leadership Akron logo and your specific program name, and they're available to anyone who has completed one of our programs. And for any class officers who missed attending one of our connection events, we also have class officer pins waiting for you. You can pick up your pins at the registration table when you leave this evening. And for our incoming classes who were announced today, don't worry, you'll get your pins on graduation day. It's a small but meaningful reminder that you are part of something much bigger. And that's really the heart of what comes next. Because when we talk about community impact, we're not talking about pins or programs. We're talking about the extraordinary influence our alumni have every single day across Akron. Our alumni are woven into the very fabric of this community. A few examples: every single member of Akron Community Foundation's 10 incoming board of directors is a Leadership Akron graduate. 9 of the 19 members of Mayor Malik's cabinet are alumni. And truthfully, it's hard to find an organization in this community that doesn't have a Leadership Akron alumni or partner helping to guide its mission and impact. That's the kind of reach and influence that changes a community. So whether you walked across this stage 41 years ago, Maria, I know you're here, or just joined our alumni family, your role as a leader in this community is as important as ever. Leadership Akron's impact has always been built on the passion, vision, and action of our alumni, and that means you. We need your voice in the conversations that matter. We need your presence in the rooms where decisions are being made. And we need your leadership in shaping what comes next for Greater Akron. Because only together can we make Akron greater. Building a community where leadership isn't just a title, but a legacy that inspires and empowers for generations to come. It's now my pleasure to welcome Justin back.
Well, again, congratulations to all of our newest program participants. We anxiously look forward to your individual, collective, and community transformation efforts. As we close, a quick reminder about our upcoming events. In November, we will have the pleasure of honoring Robert DeJarnette as the 2025 Leabreth Community Vision Award recipient on stage with all of the accompanying sight, sound, and secrets that Danny Zampelli and his planning committee are dreaming up. In December, we will honor Kemp Boyd as our 2025 Maynard Distinguished Leader Award recipient at Greystone Hall. As I mentioned earlier, 58% of what makes Leadership Akron possible comes directly from people like you, our alumni, partners, and friends who believe in investing in our leaders so that our leaders invest in our beloved community. If you've been inspired by the impact of our programs and our alumni, I invite you to consider making a gift to support this work via the QR code that takes you directly to our Leadership Akron link tree, on which there is a donate button. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps us continue to be the finest community leadership program in the nation, as Dave would say, and to inspire, strengthen, and empower leaders who transform Greater Akron into the greatest Akron we can dare to collectively imagine. Finally, because I believe community is absolutely everything, and because I believe at my core that leadership matters, I encourage you all to lead. 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 And when having done all you can to lead, keep leading. Thank you so much.